3. All right, we're live. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another live stream with me, Aaron Stoller, and I'm here with Rosemarie Mason. Yes. Rosemarie Mason, who is with the Outdoor Club in southern New Jersey. I was just talking with her about this, and we're going to hike a little bit of the Batona Trail today, which I just learned is an abbreviation for back to nature, but I'm not going to spoil all of this stuff. Rosemarie is really the expert in all of this, so I'm going to let her talk about this. We're sitting here by the map at Evans Bridge, and she can talk a little bit about the trail.
Okay, the Batona Trail, is like Aaron said, stands for Back to Nature. This was a movement back in the 60s to get people to come outside and enjoy nature and get out from their apartments and life in the big city. So there was a group called the Batona Hiking Club out of Philadelphia, and a couple of the members decided, hey, let's blaze a trail through the Pine Barrens so we can get people to come out and enjoy all this beautiful nature that we have out here. So they petitioned the state of New Jersey, and they got permission to start cutting and blazing a trail. It started up what's now known as Brendan Burn State Forest, and they went pretty much about 30 miles down to Batstow Village, which is outside of Hamilton. Then over the years, different pieces were added on. Like we're right now off of 563, south of Chatsworth, near Evans Bridge, which is off on the Wading River. And
I can zoom into this map if you just point out where we are
here. Now, I have to tell you, this says it's 50 miles long. We did add 2 relocations of March of 2012. We added a mile down here at the southern terminus at Bass River, and we added 2.2 miles sort of like in the middle section when the New Jersey Conservation Foundation bought the old DeMarco cranberry bogs, and it's now called the Franklin Parker Preserve. So actually this map it's actually 52.7,
nice.
And there is grant money has become available, and there is somebody working on redoing all of these, so they'll be more up to date.
Now you said you started this when the trail was started. It was only 30 miles, so
30
it's
miles.
Constantly being expanded.
Yes, and then like I said, in 2012 we added 2.2 miles.
Nice.
So, and I was involved with that, and
Nice.
it was very great. So we are actually, where are we? We are down here. We're right in here. We are right at this very point, and we're going to walk to the ghost town of Martha. And this is the ghost town of Martha.
Are we going to find ghosts?
We may find ghosts.
Oh, that's amazing. All right, we're going to find some ghosts.
Well, if you ever been out here at night, it's very spooky, and there's
Oh, we should have done a night stream. We should have done a night. Oh, okay. All right.
We'll have to do a full moon.
Do a Halloween night stream in Martha.
It was actually named for Jesse Evans. He was a local commissioner in the area, and he built bridges. And he was also the last Iron Master at the ghost town of Martha.
Iron Master. That sounds like a exercise contest. You mean he was iron?
He was like the manager.
He was the manager of the iron mills. All right.
Yes. I
think we've got another hiker coming.
Okay. So, I belong to the Outdoor Club of South Jersey.
Yeah, so just talk briefly about the Outdoor Club.
The Outdoor Club of South Jersey, we have like 980 members. It's all volunteer-led. We do bike rides and hiking and camping. Actually, I'm doing a kayak trip tomorrow on the Wading River. Everything is, like I said, volunteers. We're over 50 years.
And 980 members, is that mostly in South Jersey?
Yes,
but anybody can join.
Anybody can join. It's $20 a year.
So like if you're a family that's coming in from out of state but you want a guided tour, you can join. And you may not get back for another trip, but for $20, you can plan an event. You get a tour with somebody who knows the trail.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah, so I lead hikes. In fact, I led a hike here 2 weeks ago out to Martha and back. And like I said, tomorrow I got a kayak trip, and I'm also running a bike trip, and all the events are free, unless it's an overnight trip.
Okay.
So
then it's a little bit of money. Yeah.
Yeah, for $20.
You're not making a private. You're not making a profit.
We are definitely a nonprofit. Yes.
Right.
In fact, we're just in the process of giving some money away to other nonprofits.
Nice.
That we have an affiliation with through being out here in the woods. We just gave some money away to a Rails to Trail group.
Nice.
And we're giving money away. We gave money away to the Pinelands Preservation Alliance because they keep all of this protected.
Yeah. All right, well, without further ado, let's go for a hike. And as we start out, I just want to let everybody know this is a live stream, so please comment and ask questions. That's what's going to keep us going. Ask any questions that you want. Also, let me know how the audio is. I'm still kind of experimenting with a new mic setup here. And do tell me where you're from, where you're tuning in from, just so that we kind of have an idea.
Okay, so this is one of the blazes. The Batona Trail is marked in pink. We have no reason why it's pink. It's a crazy color. This one was put up by Dennis Hall. He used to be the trail maintenance leader. Like, that's the position I have now. So you'll see some of these metal ones. You'll see it's like this is faded. This needs to be redone. So we try to keep the blazes at a minimum because we just want to keep it as natural and wild as possible. Now, this here coming up is a mile marker. A couple of years ago, the Outdoor Club trail maintenance crew put up these mile markers. So they're every half mile. Zero starts at Bass River State Forest.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry, I'm not pointing at the camera. There we go. There's the mile marker. There you go.
Yeah, we put them up high because of fire and vandalism,
That's
unfortunately.
nice, yeah.
But
so you got to look up when you're on the trail.
Yes, and it's like everybody's walking underneath them, so we put the little pink rings up.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
We put this up because we were getting calls, and the park police were getting calls. People get lost out here.
Sure.
Because there's not like a lot of natural landmarks. There's no mountains or buildings. So
it is really easy to get lost. Even on a single like half-mile stretch, if you go off trail, you can get seriously lost. But don't let that discourage you. That's why we're doing the live stream. So you see all the trails. It's well marked.
Yes. So if you started at Bass River State Forest, you would have walked 9.5 miles at this point.
Okay.
All right. So this is pretty much typical of the Batona Trail, single track. When it's single track like this, no bikes are allowed, no horses, no dirt bikes. Of course, we get all of that because it's so inviting to be out here.
Hold on one second. So Jean Warner says she can't see anything in New Jersey. I'm not sure what that means. Is anybody else on the live stream having a problem? Just let me know and I'll try to correct it. It may just be a problem with your own connection, Jean, but we'll see if anybody else is having a problem. And let me know if there's any problems with the audio quality. And by the way, we are working off of kind of a shoestring 4G connection right here. So if it does cut out as we're hiking, I apologize. We'll resume very shortly. Or I'll record it and post it later, okay? So, all right, continue.
Okay. So this is typical South Jersey environment here. We have pine trees and scrub bush, a lot of oak. My favorite is the cedar trees, and we're going to be coming into a cedar swamp over here.
Atlantic white cedar swamp.
This is a cedar swamp.
The famous Atlantic white cedar. Exactly. Oh, this is one of my most favorite types of places, guys. This beautiful. It's like the dark forest from The Princess Bride. I love this place.
And then we got all this sphagnum moss down here.
Yep, so sphagnum moss.
Supposedly the Native Americans use for diapers. It's
yeah.
highly absorbent.
And it's also antiseptic.
And yes,
it's got a lot of tannic acids in it. In fact, I told this on a previous live stream. If you're ever stuck in an area where you have sphagnum moss but you don't have any water, just squeeze some water out of the sphagnum moss and you can drink it because it's going to be clean.
This is beautiful.
Beautiful. All of this is Atlantic white cedar. Really, really unique ecosystem to southern New Jersey.
And back in the 1800s, the cedar was totally harvested out because it makes great masts for the sailing ships. And it's very...
Masts, that's those things that stick up straight to hold the sails, like telephone poles. They're so straight. Look at them. I mean, of course they're so straight. It's like the land of straight trees. Man.
This is one of my favorite sections. It's always peaceful here. And one time I saw a huge black snake down in here. And then we got mushrooms.
Mushrooms. Mushrooms are so important. They're helping to decompose the forest floor and regenerate all of those useful nutrients for the trees. So without mushrooms, this forest would really not be working very well. And if you don't know, when we see a mushroom on the trail, that's actually just a very small part of the total organism. Mushrooms can be miles and miles long underneath of the forest floor. What's next to us? What lake is this next to us?
This is Ball's Pond, named after Joseph Ball. He was one of the owners of Martha Furnace. He owned many, many acres of land in this area. And what is unique about this is The beavers
No, wait, hang on.
moved in.
Can we eat these mushrooms?
I don't have my mushroom.
The answer is no. Don't eat those mushrooms.
I don't have my mushroom.
That was a
book.
rhetorical question. If I have to ask, or if you have to ask, the answer is no. Never eat a mushroom when you have to ask. If you know your mushrooms and you have a good key and it tells you you can eat them, still double check and make sure. Because otherwise you're going to die. Or get really sick.
No dying today.
Sorry, Ball's Pond,
This is
covered
Ball's
in
Pond.
lilies. We'll wait for an opening to show you guys.
And let me see, this is, the water level used to be lower, but the beavers moved in a couple years ago, and they have raised the water level up.
Oh, because the beavers dam up the...
And I'll show, we're going to walk past the dam.
Oh, we're going to walk past the dam. That's great.
Yes.
Okay.
And what happened for the trail, for us maintenance people, the water coming in created sinkholes.
Okay.
And there was to be a huge sinkhole here, which is a leg breaker. So we got permission from the state, and they gave us the dirt. The
Is that a
outdoor club
technical
bought the
term, leg breaker?
Leg breaker.
Yep.
The outdoor club bought the sandbags, and we excavated the hole and then filled it in with
Okay.
material. So all you can see now is a little bit of the green. And we picked green on purpose.
Those are the green
Yeah,
sandbags.
because otherwise, here's another one we had to do.
Trying to keep it natural looking.
The water has come so far. The water used to be out past the trees.
Oh, okay.
But the beavers love this place, and they made it their home. Whoop, this needs to be cut down.
Yeah, I imagine the hurricane wreaked a little bit of havoc.
I haven't been out. This
Looks like
section-
somebody was hiking the trail and tried to do it themselves with a
Yeah, I tried
hatchet.
to-
Thank you for whoever was trying to do
Got
that.
some inkberry here.
Inkberry?
This is another section we had.
Mm-hmm.
You see how the water level has come up.
Now, if somebody wants to get involved in helping you out with this, they really just have to contact the Outdoor Club. You can just
Outdoor
Google
Club, South Jersey, OCSJ.org.
it. Okay.
Trail maintenance starts October the 6th, and it runs through May. We do trail work every Tuesday. And now that I'm retired, I can throw in some Saturdays.
Nice. And there's really no like long-term commitment. They just
Absolutely
use whatever
not.
help they can get.
You come and go as you please. We're an all-volunteer organization. I can't believe how high the water is since the last time I've been here. Unbelievable. But the beavers are very busy, and they like it here, and I can't blame them. I'd like to live here too.
Yeah,
they
there's maybe a
create
few
a-
ticks here that I don't want to be living here for. But, you know,
Oh,
I prefer the air conditioning and tick-free environment.
and the chiggers.
And the chiggers. And the chiggers.
Trying to see where Mr. Beaver Dam was. I mean, the Beaver Lodge.
Oh, can we see the Beaver Lodge, too? Ooh,
Yeah, I'm
just got
looking
hit by a
for it.
stick.
I'm looking for it.
Stupid sticks.
Gotta watch you don't trip over these fruits here.
This is a really
you go.
well-maintained trail.
This is
This is a beaver dam.
No,
Or
this is a
lodge.
beaver-
This is the lodge.
This is a lodge.
Sorry, this is the lodge.
And they live underneath.
Now here, I'll tell you something cool. So the beavers actually have an entrance underneath of the lodge, and they have to go underwater and then climb up into the lodge to get to their dry home. Really cool. They actually, I show my students a video
It's a big one.
of somebody put a camera inside of the lodge.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a pretty good size one. Like I said, what has happened here, they tunnel underneath and the water comes in. So for trail purposes, we don't want anybody to get hurt. So we kind of live with the beavers and have to adjust to them because they're the kings.
Yeah. They're important. I mean,
Very
they really are important.
to the ecosystem, yes. They create wetlands that brings in
For a
other
lot of our
plants.
history, there was a large push to get rid of the beavers because they did so much damage to an area by flooding it. But now we've come to the understanding, much like we've now understand that it's important to burn forests to maintain them.
Correct.
We also recognize that it's important to get to make sure the beavers stay. By the way, just a reminder, if you're on and you want to ask any questions, anything, you want to ask me my favorite color, which is probably green, just let me know.
Okay, so this is where the beavers dammed this pond up. Because this used to flow.
Oh, this is the Beaver Dam.
and into the wading river.
Okay.
So a couple years ago, they decided they liked this place, and they're making it their home, and they dammed this up. And there was a couple of attempts to undam it so the water would keep flowing like it used to, and they came right back. So
Wow.
this is their territory now. We just have to live with them. So this is, and let me tell you, if you ever tried to...
How deep is the other side of this dam?
It's not deep at all, actually.
It looks like it might be 4 or 5 feet deep,
Yeah,
though.
I've seen this when it was totally dry.
Okay.
Before the beavers moved in, like at the time when we had no rain for a long time.
Yeah.
It was actually dammed. So yeah, it's probably like yay deep.
That's pretty deep.
Man-made. Maybe they had cranberries here at one time.
Did you say man-made?
It's man-made.
The dam is man-made?
No, the lake.
Oh, yeah, the
pond.
lake.
Yeah, the pond. No, this is
Say,
beaver.
this is beaver-made.
This is beaver-made. So we're going to move on.
If anybody's curious, the longest beaver dam, I think it's in like Wisconsin or something. It's like 3 miles long.
Woo!
Yeah.
So yeah, they moved in and they flooded all of this. There's a canal that runs along here that was used in the time for when they had the furnaces out here to move goods and materials and keep the water interconnected. So need a little maintenance here. We don't do anything in the summer, and of course that's when everything grows.
Sure.
But between the ticks, the heat, chiggers,
Well, and you have enough people running through the trail that they,
Yes.
you know, they're going to knock back the weeds, and it's probably really in the springtime when you have to repair everything that.
yeah, I already have a list of projects. Because like you said, when the derechos come through, the big storms, trees come down. There's a lot of water down here. So this is a really kind of a typical section of the Batona. A lot of greenery.
Now, a lot of people through hike this trail. It's kind of great. It's like the Appalachian Trail minor, right?
Yes.
You know, I mean, if you're intimidated, oh, look at those mushrooms. If you're
Looks like a
intimidated by the
pancake.
length of the Appalachian Trail, this is only 50 miles.
Yes.
And you can do this in 2 to 3 days. You want to plan out where you're going to get your water from.
Yes.
So you're going to bring iodine tablets or some kind of filtration apparatus. But there's a great group on Facebook, Hiking the Batona Trail, where you can get all kinds of advice on how to through hike the trail if you want to. Just make sure that you have somebody along the way that can rescue you if you need to call it quits.
A lot of people say the Batona can actually be harder than the Appalachian Trail sometimes because it is so flat. And
Yeah,
there's a
those
lot of-
people probably have never hiked in Maine.
I mean, AT is always known for the rocks, but I recently hiked the whole trail. It took like 6 Saturdays back in April and May during the initial
Oh, so that
lockdown.
was partial hike, not continuous, not through hike. Okay.
No. But
And if you've never hiked that distance, do partial hikes. It's totally fine. No one's going to call you a wuss.
no.
Just do partial hikes. Man, you have a lot of very different mushrooms on this trail.
There's crazy.
Look at those, look at that.
Weird colors. I see purple ones with blackberry.
David Carroll says, thank you from Barnegat Light. NJ, video and audio pretty good, some occasional fade. Sorry about that. Will you post the contact info for joining the organization? Absolutely.
Yes.
As soon as I get to a computer, I'll post that right away. And I mean, you can always just search Outdoor Club New Jersey. It'll come right up and you'll get everything. They've got a great little website.
Got some, I call this reindeer lichen.
Yep.
And if you look at it in a microscope or a little scope, it looks like little antlers. See, they look like little antlers.
But he does know if that. Sure.
Yeah, we call it reindeer lichen. I don't know. And we got some tea berry here,
Yeah.
which has red berries eventually, and you can actually
The video
the
guys.
flavor.
I'm still kind of getting used to this gimbal here.
Cat briar out here.
There's a lot of actual edible plants in the Pine Barrens. I mean, of course, everybody knows blueberries, but that's not the only thing, and that's really only available in recently disturbed areas. But you have lots of other plants that if you know how to consume them right, if you know how to consume the right quantities and the right parts, it's actually, you can survive off of what's in the Pine Barrens.
Absolutely.
But you have to know your plants.
I took a survival course one time with Russell Julig of the New Jersey Conservation Foundation. It was very interesting. Got ferns. Oh, it's just so beautiful.
Cranberries. What is it called? Winter spearmint?
Oh, tea berry, and then there's
Tea-berry.
winter green. I mean, if I find some winter green, I'll, winter green looks a little bit like the tea berry, only has a white stripe in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this needs to come down.
Well, it already did come down.
Needs to come down.
Lizzie DeCiccio says to post your mushrooms to iNaturalist or the NJ Mycological Association discussion group for ID help. That is absolutely true. I actually am part of that, part of a few mushroom identification groups on Facebook, and you post an identification question on there, they'll get back to you right away.
Beavers dammed this up.
Do we know if it was the same beavers or a different one?
I don't know.
Probably a different one.
And they did this, and this is very here.
Yeah.
So you head north towards Owens Hat, which is the northern terminus of the trail. The other side says.
Oh, we're back. We're back.
Okay.
We're back.
So we're
Sorry,
looking
guys.
at
4G
this.
connection lost for a little bit.
We walked a half a mile. We're at 9. At the full mile markers, you will see these little blazes that the outdoor club put up, so people know if they're going north or south. The trail actually goes all directions, but for main purposes, if you look at the overall map,
It's a north-south.
yeah.
Right. It's
So,
kind of like
people-
287 up north. It goes in every single direction, but there's only north and south.
At the state visitor centers, there are Batona trail maps,
Okay.
and we also have an insert to show the.
They're also
relocation.
online if you want to get them. Print it out before you head out now.
Yes, you absolutely need a map out here.
Henry Hillebrand says the video keeps pausing. Sorry, Henry, and sorry to everybody else. I am working off of a shoestring 4G connection here. It's going to pause probably once more before we finish. Just stay tuned and we'll pop back on, okay?
Henry Hillbrant, he's a member of the Outdoor Club and he does trail maintenance.
Oh, well, thanks for joining us, Henry. If there's anything that you can add to what Rosemarie is saying, please do.
All right, we're going to
What road is this?
This is 679.
This is not a trail.
Off of 563. This goes to New Gretna,
Look both ways.
both ways. All right, little Henry. These, I don't know what these are, but these showed up like a year ago. These plants, and they're just crazy growing everywhere.
Does anyone know what these plants are?
Yeah.
If anyone knows what these plants are, send something in the chat.
Yeah, they're just, it seems like they're along the roadways.
Like I say, every live stream, I'm a scientist, which means I know nothing. Well, I know something. I know some things. I know just enough to make it sound like I know something, but I also know plenty to know enough to tell everybody that I know nothing.
Jack of all trades, master of none. So we're walking along the canal. I used to connect, I believe, the Otwego River to the Wading River. Again, there was a lot of industry out here. At
Lizzie
one-
says that the plant might be Chinese bush clover.
Ooh. I
Okay,
don't
sorry, there was a lot of industry out here.
Yes, a lot of industry out here. These man-made canals moved the bog iron back and forth. And there, besides the furnaces, there was forges. So not all furnaces made things. Some the pig iron would go to the forges, and then they would be forged into.
What's pig iron?
Pig iron is what happens when you burn down the bog iron that's located in these waters.
Okay.
So it's iron, it's metal, And they have the furnaces.
What does the bog iron look like?
Oh, okay. When we get up to Martha, hopefully I can find you a piece.
Okay. And so the pig iron is what happens when you melt down the bog iron.
Yes. Through the high heat of the furnaces, which they use all these pine trees to keep the furnaces going in blast. It's a little lake trail. It goes down to Harrisville Pond. Which
Light trail meaning small trail.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
Crosses the canal and it's about a mile or so long.
So it's kind of opened up here. Is there a difference? I guess we're going a little bit more upland.
Yes.
Okay.
More dry.
Right.
Different.
So before we were by Ball's Pond.
You see, there's no Atlantic cedar here. Got a lot of scrubby oak and.
That's the species name. It's not an insult to the oak.
This is just nice, easy walking. It's great.
Yeah, it
for
really
families.
is. I mean, I spent 2.5 years in the Adirondack Mountains, so I'm used to mountainous. This is a pleasure.
Well,
Easy to do with families, and I got to tell you, I haven't come across too many logs. So if you got a stroller, you could probably do it. Just make sure the stroller has a little bit of spring, so you don't. There's no shaken baby syndrome here.
So the blazes are fairly close to each other.
Now, do you redo the blazes every year?
No, as needed. Use Behr Premium. Water-based paint.
The official paint of the Batona
of the
Trail.
Batona. Yes.
Hold on, I got a cone in my boot or something.
Oh no, that's annoying.
Yeah. Now we're gonna do this one-handed while I hold the camera with the other hand, because I'm talented like that. Somebody once told me that the value of an ecologist, or the value of any scientist, is his or her ability to do something one-handed in the field while walking, while holding a camera or a cup of coffee,
Wow.
and not being able to spill a single drop of the coffee. Yeah, everybody is confirming that plant was invasive Chinese bush clover.
Ooh.
Oh, thanks, Joe.
Yeah, it showed up maybe 2 years ago. Comes up in the summer and then it dies off. But it's definitely multiplying.
For those of you that don't know, Joe is he's on the live stream. He's a research assistant with our maple syrup project at Stockton University. He also runs a nursery at his home, so he's kind of a plant expert.
Oh, nice.
Although he'll never tell you that he's a plant expert of any kind. Man, this is just wonderful. Look at this. You can see above all of the berries and.
Come across a little bridge. Sometimes there's water in here. Sometimes there's not.
For those of you listening from outside New Jersey, water is water.
Water.
It's water.
Salt water taffy.
Water. It's such a New Jersey thing. What are waterfalls? Waterfalls.
So this is a little single track. We're heading towards Martha Road.
Martha Road. We're going to get to a ghost town, guys. Stay tuned.
Yes. We'll talk
We're
about
going to cut it off after the ghost town when we hike back. So it's not going to be too long, but you got to stay tuned for the ghost town.
Yes. The ghosts of Martha. Yeah, we need to do a night hike out here.
Oh, man.
Very spooky out here at night.
You know, I didn't think that the camera quality would be great at night, but we did that bug watch a few weeks ago with Jamie Cromartie, and it turned out really well.
Lots of crazy sounds out here at night.
Wait, where's the Jersey Devil? Does he
not-
live on the Batona Trail?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Sometimes he comes to visit.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
If I ever meet the Jersey Devil, I want to have a cup of coffee
never
with
seen
him.
him, but I've heard of
I
him.
thought it was a her.
Heard him. I think it's a him. All the pictures I seen were hymns.
Well,
So this is Sassy's Bridge.
Sassy's Bridge.
Yeah, well,
Hold
from
on, we got
here-
to show the dedication sign.
Yeah, and that's nested. Here's Sassy see over here, this area used to flood. Batona Trail actually went a couple 100 feet that way. And Tim Rieger, who was a member of the Outdoor Club, he built this go-around, and nobody used it except when there was flooding. So we moved the trail over, and he dedicated it to his golden retriever, Sassy.
Oh, Sassy's a golden retriever.
Yeah, Queen of the Pines.
Sorry, I know she's looking down. I'm not moving the camera.
Sassy came along with Tim on all his hikes.
Yeah, this is pretty dog-friendly, too. Just check the dog for ticks afterwards.
Yeah, and I would suggest, well, state law says dogs have to be on a leash, but the thing you have to worry about if they see a deer or something and they run off, they could get caught in these thickets or lose their way back to you. So it's highly recommended you bring your dog, keep him leashed so you don't lose him or her.
Yep. It's pretty low-lying territory here, so you could probably pretty easily lose the dog and only identify where the dog is from the rustling in the bushes.
When you see a blaze, we got one up here offset. Usually there's like a little turn to be aware. Got to be situationally aware. They say people do get turned around out here.
Right, so just pay attention. This is not the normal type of trailblazes.
No.
This is kind of trailblazes that are unique to the Batona Trail. But the Batona Trail is really just a straight shot. There's not a lot of offshoots that you have to be concerned with, so there's really not the need for the traditional trail markings. Just use common sense when looking at the trail markings.
Yeah, traditional trail markings is the one blaze on top of the
Right.
other. Yeah, we kind of did this.
Well, that's okay. But again, I mean, those types of trailblazers are for when you have multiple trails that intersect. When you just have a straight shot, there really is only a need for that one marking. It's a really good point for anybody who decides to try out a new trail. Check out a map beforehand, but also make sure that you know how to read trail markings. You know, what does it mean with an upside down triangle, a right side triangle, two on top of each other, or just one? Make sure that you know what those mean.
Got a lot of moss, all the scrubby. I don't know what all these are called. Some of them are low bush blueberry.
Yeah, you get a lot of low bush blueberry around
But
here.
I've never seen berries on any of these, but up on Martha Road.
You got to get to them before the birds get to them.
Yeah. I actually got a couple the other week. What was the leftovers? So there's discussions about if there's bears out here.
Probably.
Supposedly some people have seen bears. I've been coming out here for 30 years. I have never seen a bear.
Have you ever seen poop that you weren't sure?
No.
Oh.
But people have. And I know
think that there's definitely bears down here.
Yeah,
if anybody on the stream has seen a bear around Brendan Burn or Wharton, let us know.
Yeah, supposedly there was one in Shamong not too long ago.
So that is how you pronounce it, Shamong.
Shamong.
I always thought it was Shamong.
Shamong and Atsine. There's some people call it Atsion. Atsine or Atsine. Different pronunciations.
Forked River.
Interesting names. So we're just walking along here. Nobody's out here today. Well, it is a little warm.
A little warm, plus it's Friday.
A lot of hiking seems to take place in the fall.
Okay.
Little cooler.
Sure.
Leaves are turning.
Less ticks and chiggers.
Less ticks and chiggers. Here's some more tea berry. I'm looking for winterberry. I haven't seen any.
Yeah, I haven't seen any just yet.
I have it in my yard at home.
I guess nobody's seen bears. Nobody's saying anything.
8.5. So we walked a mile.
All right. Oop, I'm done. Miles enough. God, I'm so out of shape. No, just kidding.
Gotta get to Martha.
Martha!
Martha! We love Martha.
Well, don't scream it too loud. The ghost will wake up. I don't need to be haunted today.
the Pinelands Adventures over on 206 across from Atzine, they run some nice tours of the Pine Barrens. So you have to check out the Pinelands Preservation Alliance site. Last year they were running little shuttle buses all around the Pinelands. They had one just went to the old furnace sites, ghost towns, places of industry. It's a great organization.
Mike Callis says there are bears in the pines, but they are not year-round. They are not found in the winter due to lack of suitable rocky habitat.
Oh, okay. So
There you go.
Come down here for summer vacation.
Yeah.
How about that? Yeah, usually don't bears hibernate in caves. We have.
I don't know bears. I know who to ask. I basically know frogs. That's my thing. I know frogs.
Oh, you know frogs?
Yeah.
What's the difference between a frog and a toad?
Parietal glands.
Who? A what?
Parietal glands. So a toad has poisonous glands on the top of it, and a frog doesn't. That doesn't mean that a frog can't be poisonous. Like poison dart frogs are poisonous because of the ants that they eat that produce formic acid. So all toads are poisonous. Not all frogs are poisonous.
Oh.
Not all toads are poisonous to humans, but they all have parietal glands on the top that can squirt a little bit of toxin. The toads that we have in the Pine Barrens, really any toad that we have in North America is not going to hurt humans. But there are toads that will definitely hurt you.
Am I walking too fast?
Oh, you're fine.
I'm trying to get to
You're fine. You're fine. You're
our
fine.
destination. You don't run out of
I'm just kidding. I
time.
usually hike 3 to 4 miles a day, so
Oh, okay.
I'm fine.
All right.
I'm just joking. Oh, you know what? I think isn't this Winterberry?
Should I walk right by it?
Isn't this? No? I'm sorry.
No,
I'll
I think
go
it's
down
still
to.
It's a dark green. The leaves are a little differently shaped, more pointy,
Oh,
and they
okay.
have this white stripe. Yeah, I don't see too much out here today. I've seen any. A lot of tea berry. It's very dry out here. Even though we get rain, because the soil's so sandy, everything just immediately drains down
Right.
into the big
That's why the
aquifer.
aquifer underneath of us is so rich,
Yes.
so
The
pure.
reason why all this area has been protected,
Right, to protect that aquifer.
because we're supposed to be sitting on trillions of gallons of fresh water.
Right. So it's called the Kohansi Aquifer, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
The Kohansi Kirkwood, I believe.
Yeah, Kirkwood Kohansi.
And at one time, there was a guy named Joseph Wharton. You know that Wharton name, Wharton School of Business, very famous name.
And Wharton State Forest?
Yes.
Yes, there you
He
go.
owned all that land. And
Yeah,
he knew
what?
there was all this great water trapped under the couple feet under where we're walking. And he was going to pipe it out to Philadelphia.
Okay.
And state of New Jersey officials said, you're not taking our water and sending it to Philadelphia. We may need it for ourselves. So they put the clamp down on him and made it illegal to pipe water out of New Jersey.
Oh. I imagine that was probably around the same time that they were bottling up water from Saratoga Springs and other
Probably.
places because mineral water was becoming this tonic. People were thinking that it was really, really good for health, and it is. That
Yeah.
it is. And it's probably hyped up a lot, but
And also at Philadelphia, you know, that at turn of the century, they had a lot of like dysentery and other diseases, and the water wasn't
dysentery is when
as
you poop
pure.
a lot.
Now, further along, miles from here on the Batona Trail, is a place called Apple Pie Hill, and that's a great little place to hike.
Apple Pie Hill.
Apple Pie Hill.
All right, listen, there better be apple pies on that hill.
Supposedly it was called Apple Pie Hill because remember I said all of this was clear cut at one time, and it's
Okay.
a 205-foot hill. So So supposedly it looked like a top of an apple pie. With
That's a lame reason to name something Apple Pie Hill.
Then there's another story. Some lady used to make apple pies, and she went over the hill to bring them down to the train
Okay,
station.
that's better.
But a guy named White, Dr. White, he also realized how great the water was. And
Wait, is this different from, what's her name, Elizabeth White? Or?
Yeah, I don't think they were relatives. She's the blueberry lady.
Yeah, the blueberry lady.
Oh, spiderwebs.
It's funny, you know, you say spider webs. So you're walking in front of me. I've been getting all the ones that are a foot above your head because I'm a foot above you.
I'm getting all the ones that are 5 feet.
So she's saving me from all the ones from 5 feet down. And
it's the ones on your face that are the worst, though.
well, my face is, I'm a full face above you, so I'm getting the full Monty too.
So, Mr. Dr. White, he also wanted to bottle the water. And he was going to open a sanitarium up there by Chatsworth, but it never came to be. But he did build these cisterns to collect the water. You still can see them at Apple Pie Hill.
Okay, but there's still no apple pies on Apple Pie Hill.
No apple pies.
Okay, it's still lame. I
But
mean,
I did lead a hike there one time, and I brought some tasty cake pies.
that's not apple pies. Why would you do that?
Okay, so let me pick this up.
Yeah, please, if you just be conscious. You know, I tell all my students, when you hike on a trail and you see trash on the trail, your immediate thought is to say, that's horrible that somebody popped. Here, where are we going? You tell us. I'll finish the story in a second. Where are we going?
We are going. I'm a big thing about the litter. Pack it in.
Yeah.
Some stuff blows out people's pocket. We're starting to find a lot of face masks. I guess people have them in their pocket and
Sure.
they fall out. This is what's called a carcinite sign. The tricky turns.
Okay.
This was a turn people kept walking.
Yeah, what's
Yeah.
this way?
This is Martha Road.
Oh, this is, okay, so what happens if you walk this way?
You'll end up at 679.
Okay, so this way goes to the town of Martha.
Another thing we put up is these little pink arrows that also help make turns.
Oh, there it is. Now, is anything reflecting so that if you were out here at night?
No, our club doesn't, but the Pinelands, I think it's the Pinelands Striders, it's a running group.
Okay.
They have, they put up a couple of those little reflective thumbtacks.
Okay,
Because
good.
they run a hike that starts in the dark and ends in the dark. People try to run the whole 52.7 miles. So yeah,
There are people that through run the Appalachian Trail. What's his name? Scott Jazik? I can't remember. So anyways, guys, what I was saying is when you find trash on the trail, your first thought is that that's gross that somebody else did that. But you have to remember, sometimes you reach into your pocket and you go to pull out your phone or something and a little piece of trash pops out. So you're responsible too. So the best thing that you can do is just pick up trash when you see it in the hopes that somebody else picks up your accidental mistake. There are horrible people out there that purposefully litter. Like, let's not be dishonest. But the majority of people that appreciate nature and through hike trails like this, they're not intending to litter, it's just accidental. So just help us all out, and pick up litter.
You see it, pick it up.
Yep. I have to admit, I've seen a few pieces and I haven't been able to pick it up. That's because I got a water bottle in one hand and a camera in the other.
When I run a hike out here, we'll bring a trash bag, pick some things up. Most thing that upsets me, of course, is the beer cans.
Yeah.
People come out here, they drink, and they throw the cans because they don't want to get caught with that in their car. So, and there's a lot of access points out here in the Pines. A lot of old sand roads, like we're walking on now, Martha Road, that went to furnaces. They went to the swamps where they harvested the cedar. Dead ended at cranberry bogs. So there's a lot of great walking out here, but there's also opportunities for people to drive out here and do, I call shenanigans.
Yeah. There's a lot of problems with off-roading too in the Pine Barrens.
That's a big discussion going on.
Yeah. Well, you go ahead, tell us the ups and the downs of it.
Well, from my point of view, I do not like to off-road. Irresponsible. Now, I have a Jeep to come out here to do trail work, but I don't go crashing through the woods.
Right.
I don't go through the bogs with it. I don't deliberately try to stir up the mud and make big mud holes and make the roads unpassable. We get a lot of people come from out of state, and it's advertised in some of the off-road vehicle magazines that come out here and play. But some of the players, and it's not all of them, they are destructive.
Right.
They don't
Well,
listen.
and they're also noisy.
It's
I mean, so
noisy.
we're talking, and the register of our voices is enough to scare some deer away and
Yes.
change the behavior of wildlife, but they'll return. But these off-road vehicles are quite noisy. Now, I will say, like, nature exists. It should exist sustainably with humans, and part of that is humans enjoying nature. And if you want to take a off-road vehicle and just stick to the trail, as long as you're not tearing things up and you drive it responsibly, it's okay. Try to muffle the engine as much as possible so you don't make too much noise, but have your fun. Don't go off trail. They worked so hard to make this trail accessible so that you could enjoy the nature around it. Don't go destroying the nature outside of the trail.
Protect what you love. That's my motto. So we're on our way to Martha.
Martha.
And I'll talk a little bit about Martha.
Yeah, let's talk about Martha.
Martha Potts.
Martha
She was the
Potts.
wife of Isaac Potts. Isaac Potts owned actually a house in Valley Forge, which...
Wait. I gotta look at this spider web. Look at that. You said spider web? So that's like they make these webs so that anything that falls from the tree will be caught in it. Gorgeous web. Okay.
We got blueberries.
Where's the blueberries? Blueberries!
Blueberries. These are little baby ones.
Yeah.
This is what's left over after everybody else picked up the big
I
ones.
just learned that there's a huge wild blueberry industry in Maine.
I was in Maine last month,
Oh, that's
and
delicious.
I had some wild Maine blueberries, and they're okay. They're not as sweet as the New Jersey ones because ours are not so wild.
Right. We've got a lot of sugar.
What you call it?
A lot of water
White,
and
different
sugar.
Group. Hybrid is, I don't know the word. Spliced genes or plants or whatever to make a superior blueberry. So yes, I do think our blueberries are bigger.
If you're interested in the history of that, go up to the Pinelands Institute. They have at Whitesbog, they have a great orchard of blueberries that Elizabeth White, I believe is her name.
Yes, Elizabeth White.
She started hybridizing blueberries, and I learned the history of this. She sent out a search party asking people to find the biggest blueberries that they could in New Jersey, and she would award people for finding her the biggest blueberries, but they had to show her the bush so that she could take a clipping and hybridize all the blueberries and start up the industry.
There's actually a festival at Whitesbog on Saturday, September 26th.
Oh, okay.
Yes, they're going to have some programs or crafts or whatever, do some education. I plan on going. Actually, the Outdoor Club has a hike there that morning.
Nice.
Yeah, it's nice. So, back to Miss Martha.
Miss Martha.
Isaac Potts owned the house, which was at one time used for the headquarters for George Washington at Valley Forge. And Isaac Potts bought this land that we're coming into, and he built a furnace, a blast furnace for creating products made out of iron, and he named it after his wife Martha. So, that was in 1793. And if you ever get a hold of this very interesting book called The Martha Diaries,
Sounds like a
master
Netflix
of the
special.
time, or the manager, wrote a log of everything that happened at the furnace. It's so insightful of what the community was doing. Like, so-and-so got drunk. Mrs. So-and-so had a baby.
Huh.
The furnace had a puff, which was unexpected, some smoke came out. The furnace went out of blast certain times of the year. The furnace is in blast. People went down to Bodine's Tavern, which is 2 miles down the road, to practice drills, militia drills. So here in this town of Martha, there's actually about 400 people lived here at one time. 60 people actually worked in the furnace, melting down the bog iron. Now, you see, this can be very wet here.
Mm-hmm.
So, great local guy, he built some of these little footbridges. So, at one time, somebody moved it. Because as you can see, we have cars come down here, though they can't get very far.
Sure.
So, the town of Martha was quite developed. They had a general store.
So this is another Atlantic white cedar swamp.
Yes.
You can see all the dead trees, guys.
Yeah.
Wonder why. Probably just dried up for a little bit.
Now, down by the bay, they say it's because of salt intrusion.
Mm-hmm.
Now, look at that. We got our little lily pads. We have,
it's
it's
dried
pretty.
up. Huh. Yeah, I say it's dried up, and then there's a
Now,
lily pad.
sometimes you can come out here and it's dry as a bone
Oh, that's
out
gorgeous. Great frog
here.
habitat.
I know people, we don't have smell-o-vision.
Oh, God, it smells bad. It smells like I just farted.
That rotten vegetation.
Yeah.
So, we're coming to Martha Bridge.
I didn't just fart, but that's what it smells like. I mean, I didn't fart that you know of.
It's like, good thing we don't have smell-o-vision.
One day.
Put a man on the moon.
Just open your refrigerator and find something that's rotting.
All right, this is the Otwego River.
Oh, okay.
And you can kayak this. It's about
Yeah,
a
I saw a
3-hour
kayaking.
trip.
I saw a kayaking group at our stopping point in Evans Bridge.
They were going on the Wading River. Right
Okay.
now, all the rivers are pretty low.
Okay.
You can see how low the Oswego
Do people
is.
fish this?
Yeah, there's only like pickerel and maybe some small
Okay.
bass. The water's very acidic.
Okay.
Watch your foot here.
Yeah. Don't
So
go in.
let me tell you a little story about Martha Bridge.
Do we know what this weed is right here? Looks like a Zostera species.
I know those ones down there with the arrow shape. I think they're called morning glory pickerel. Pickerel's morning glory. They produce a beautiful purple flower.
So tell us a little bit about Martha's Bridge.
So this was one of the bridges connecting the furnace to the outside world where they could put products down here. And I was down here one time, my grandkids, the water was low, we kayaked up, and you could find slag in the water. And we're going to show you some slag, sort of like a byproduct of what was left over after the pig iron was produced. A couple of years ago, we had a really bad storm, and if you could believe, the water was so high, it came over the bridge.
Oh wow! I mean,
And
this is like a 10-foot distance to the water here.
Yeah, actually, there was debris, and then the bridge was lifted up, and it's not back on its pilings, so it's unsafe for car traffic. So we have these, I can't remember, called bull, something with a B over down. The name escapes me. And there was a barrier here, but people are determined to go this way. They don't want to turn around. They actually winched it out. There was a barrier. Oh, here's some more of that Chinese.
Bushweed.
This is milkweed,
Mm-hmm.
which the butterflies just love. So, in Martha, like I said, there was about 60 people worked the furnace, 400 people lived here. There was a school, there was a little hospital. This is where they winched out the barrier. Somebody was determined to go over there. But one day someone's going to fall through there with their car. They had a general store.
There will be a car in the Oswego River.
The people who worked at Martha, the 60 odd so people, got paid in script.
In
And
script?
Guess where the script was only good at? The general store.
Wait, what is script?
Script wasn't like money.
Oh,
It was
okay.
using, instead of getting money, they got paid in script.
Okay.
And the only place they could.
So it was like something. It was an IOU.
It's like when you say your soul is owned by the company store.
Yeah.
Trash. Yeah.
So the scripts were only good at the
General store.
general store.
So there was farm.
That was probably owned by the manager of the company.
Absolutely. Kept your track here. Some of the people didn't live in Martha. Some of them lived further up the road, a place called Calico, which is another name for Mountain Laurel. And there was a town on the banks of the Otwego River. They had dead farm, school, hospital, the general store. Most of the people lived in Martha were Irish of course, very hot and dirty work. But the other people who were like auxiliary, they were the guys that went out, the lumbermen, who cut down all the trees to bring to the furnace, because that was the source of energy to keep the furnace going. And then, of course, there was the guys who went out and dug up the bog iron. So it's quite a big industry here.
So something that Rosemarie told me before we started here was that this whole forest was chopped down to feed the iron furnaces. So I mean, it's pretty incredible when you look at this. This forest is only max 100 years old.
Yeah. Rosie was clear cut 3 times. So now nothing can be cut out here because we have the wonderful Pinelands Protection Act to protect all this area from developing and being harvested. We still have industry.
Oh, there's a frog.
Oh,
He hopped into the. Oh, there's another one. They got him. There's
action in the pond here.
little tiny frogs in here.
Oh, mosquito just got me.
Yeah.
It's a little hot and humid
Got to
today.
keep on moving. Well, that's why we're doing it. Virtual hikes, so we get hot and humid and sweaty, and you don't have to.
Yeah, let the mosquitoes bite me while you're home and you're
Air conditioning.
drinking your hand or whatever, cup of coffee.
I would prefer hot and humid over cold and freezing any day.
So we're actually coming into the town. And again, you can see.
You know, it's so muddy. Oh, it's muddy. Oh, it's muddy. Oh,
I
gross.
just cleaned my boots.
Oh, gross.
Oh well. You notice how it's a little sandy
Hey,
here, too?
Batona Trail Crew Alliance Outdoor Club. Get on that. Oh, now it's sandy. Now it's
Very
hard to walk.
sandy.
Oh,
So
God.
that's why people say, oh, the Appalachian Trail is hard, but if you have to walk through miles of this, I'm telling you, it hurts.
This is like walking on the beach.
Yes. This area here is where the furnace was.
Hey, can you carry me?
No. Carry you. You should be carrying me. Furnace is now buried. The state of New Jersey had so much vandalism. People were taking the bricks. I have a picture of it. A drawing of what the furnace looked like. But we had to protect it. Now you can see somebody broke through the fence. Here's like what it looked like.
Oh, okay. So that big brick,
This was the furnace.
that's the furnace.
And
Not too complicated.
now,
Just really need
That's
something to heat
actually-
things up.
was right there. There's a great book called Iron in the Pines if you're interested in learning about all the furnaces in South Jersey. There was quite a few of them.
Okay, I'm getting greenheads.
This has always been a topic of discussion, this tree.
Who did that?
We don't know. Now these trees, someone told me are catawba trees.
Catawba?
Catawba, they have these long, skinny, string bean-like seed
Yeah.
pods.
Yeah.
And
Catawba.
it's not supposed to be native to South Jersey.
I don't see which tree. That's this is elm.
That's it now.
Which ones are you? Oh, these.
These ones.
Yeah, catawba.
And I don't think they're...
So who did this? Is this the Jersey Devil's home?
Also,
This
some
is
people
the
call it
Jersey
the
Devil's
mailbox.
home.
Something, usually there's, people put stuff in. I've seen pictures, teddy bears, all kinds of stuff. I led a hike out here one time, Valentine's Day. I put Valentine's in there and signed it, Love, Martha. Kitschy, kitschy. Now, I read somewhere they used something like this to make a fulcrum. Cut a hole, put a plank in there, somehow, so they could load wagons. I don't know. It's something
Alright.
worth researching. But obviously,
I
someone
know
deliberately...
people want me to do this, so I'm going to do this.
Yeah, sometimes you come in here and you find wedding pictures and all kinds of stuff.
I don't
Today
see
there's
anything, guys.
here's some slag. See all this here?
Oh, okay.
This is slag. This is like the byproduct of the remnants of what was left over producing the...
Is this magnetic?
I don't know.
Yeah, I bet it is. If Rocky's watching, he could tell us.
Because
Cool.
they use a lot of seashells. Sometimes you'll see seashells out here too. They use that also in making the... let's see if we could find a piece of bog iron. That'd be great. I should have brought one with me. I have
That's
a piece
okay.
at home. But it's that orangey red rock. And you see a lot of decorative...
You just described like 50% of rock.
Dark red rock, yes. Here we go.
That's not orangey red.
Well, this one's dirty. Let me find a cleaner one.
This is like Apple Pie Hill.
It's.
You can see flecks of orange. Oh,
Yes.
I gotta focus in on it. Sorry, guys. You can see flecks of orange on
So
it.
this is bog iron.
Yeah.
And
So this should be magnetic.
There you are. You can have someone analyze it at the lab. But it was
We have other things to do.
taken out of the streams. The water here is very acidic,
Right.
and I guess it's a good environment for making bog iron.
Iron formation.
Yes. Say I'm not a scientist.
Neither am I. Don't worry.
So,
I mean,
We
they
are
call me that, but
downtown Martha, furnace over here. Do you notice this kind of
Wait, is this
open?
like Apple Pie Hill, where there's no
No.
apple pies, and you say we're going to the town of Martha, and there's no actual town?
It's a ghost town.
So this is the town of Martha?
People lived here. Many people.
I'm expecting like a Wild West ghost.
Let me tell you what they made in Martha.
Just kidding.
People
This is
are
pretty cool.
interested.
So there were houses here?
Absolutely. Yeah, and there's cellar holes here and there.
Oh, cool. Show us the cellar hole.
Let me see. I saw one the other day down here. They made kettles, cannon wheels, cannon balls, sash rates for windows. There was a furnace, a stamping mill, a coal house, a sawmill, a grist mill, a hay house, a storehouse, a mansion house, a two-story house where the clerk lived, and of course the one for the ironmaster. There's barns and stables, a spring house, a school, a hospital, and workers' home. Apple and peach orchards. So, this is also called Martha Road. This is
So
also
follow
called Martha Road.
if you're looking for the Batona Trail, just remember to follow the pink markers,
Follow
guys.
the pink blazes.
You see how that pink blaze? You see how it's slightly pointed that way? It means to keep going down this trail.
We're going that
And there's another
way.
pink blaze right there, so keep on going down that.
Yeah, right now we are in Wharton State Forest.
Okay.
About a mile down the road, or about less than a mile, is the boundary of Bass River State Forest. So all of this is all protected for us to enjoy. This sign here is actually made by my sister, Diane Mason.
Which
This
sign? The Bodine?
Bodine, or Bodine. Some people. John Bodine operated a tavern on the Wading River in the late 1700s, 1800s. And people of Martha, that was their drinking spot. It was like a community, what do you call it?
Down there was the drinking spot?
2 miles down the road.
You had to hike 2 miles to get to your drinking spot?
Well, they had wagons and horses, or they walked. Because
What do you call drunk while wagoning?
What?
Is that DUW? Drunk on?
Drunk, yes. So we put that up here because that's well, it's not open now because of COVID. But that was like if you're backpacking, that's a place you could spend the night.
Is there a bar down there?
Not anymore. Supposedly somebody was hung
This
down
trail
there.
needs apple pies, beer,
Beer
and a ghost tour.
and a ghost tour. And it was a stagecoach stop because the stage ran from Philadelphia to Tuckerton because Tuckerton was a big seaport. So a lot of the goods here were also moved out to Tuckerton or they moved to Philadelphia. So John Bodine, wherever you are, you had a great little local bar, and they had a local militia.
For any history buffs, or you know what, I got to admit, I'm not a huge history buff, but it's pretty cool to be standing in the middle of what was once a town and just to imagine the type of industry that went on here. I mean, these trees were, or most of these trees are probably not here.
Yes.
They were all cleared out, and you had a whole bunch of just wood or brick houses. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So this is one of the ghost towns in the Pinelands.
There's more?
Yeah, there's a few more. There was Absine, there was a furnace there, Batstow. If you've ever been to Batstow, that actually has a great museum, and the worker houses are still standing, and the huge mansion that you can take a tour of. It's great.
Oh,
So
that's
this is all that's
pretty neat.
left of Martha, but we have her memories.
You need a plaque here.
Yes, someone probably would steal it. Down the road there are some cellar holes. I don't know how much further you want to go.
Oh, no, that's okay. I think we'll...
But
Just places where they would store...
yeah, and there was homes here, and then further down there was the bulk of the people lived in Calico.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. So if you come out here at night, maybe you hear the ghosts talking and walking among the trees.
Now, you can't just camp here. That's not allowed. You have to find a legit campsite, and those are going to be marked.
State of New Jersey, there's no stealth camping allowed.
Right.
So you can either camp at Bass River and walk here, which is like 7.5 miles.
Okay.
Bodines is 2 miles down
2
the road.
miles. So your best bet, if you want to do a
closed.
ghost tour on your own, you go camp at Bodine and then hike down here 2 miles. It's a straight hike, it looks like.
It
Yeah.
is, it's straight on.
Yeah, and then hike on down here, and just make sure you bring a flashlight and, you know, your electromagnetic pulse equipment to detect your ghosts. And yeah, let us know if you find Martha or somebody who died while getting drunk at Bodine and fell off of their wagon along the way, because you know
sure
that happened.
Accidents. In the Martha Diary, they talk a lot about so-and-so was drunk and couldn't work for the day.
Well, I'm going to cut this live stream off. Is there anything else that you would like to say about the trail, and maybe just give another shout out to the website where people can find you at? And,
Okay, I'm at ocsj.org, Outdoor Club of South Jersey, 900 members, 50 years going strong, $20 a year to join, includes insurance and our website, and it's all volunteer, nonprofit club. We come out here and we lead hikes, bike rides, camping, backpacking, kayaking, cross-country skiing, and snowshoeing.
Nice.
And camping. So
Pretty nominal fee for some guided tours from people that know the trail, will keep you safe and show you a little bit of history and
Yes.
camaraderie.
we learn the plants too. We
To
have some
keep up the
botanists-
trail. Yep.
botanists in our club, like Millicent Moore, Christine Deneler. They know all the plants and flowers, and yeah, it's great to come out here, and people don't even realize what a beautiful treasure we have here.
Yeah, it is. It
absolutely
is really
outstanding.
nice.
And we need to keep it preserved and protected,
Mm-hmm.
so our children and grandchildren, etc., can also enjoy this.
Absolutely.
So we're very fortunate to live here.
Well, thank you very much for giving us the tour. I'm going to
my
cut off the
pleasure.
live stream so you don't have to tolerate me and my poor jokes as I as we hike back to the car. But we started out at Evans Bridge. There's multiple points for you to start off on this trail. You can kind of partial hike it. You can through hike it if you want, but you can partial hike it in a variety of different ways. Just check it out, the maps.
Yeah, get yourself. We
Oh,
have
we've got
these
one more thing.
maps. So we have a map of the Batona Trail, and then we have the inserts.
Where can people get this?
At the visitor centers.
At the visitor centers.
and there's
Okay.
also online. You can
And yeah, you can get it online.
look, there's a bear.
So there's bears. You knew
I
there
just
were
never
bears.
seen a bear, but there's a bear.
Nice.
You see a lot of deer, but you have to be very, very, very
Sure.
careful. And beautiful plants. Beautiful plants.
Absolutely.
But yeah, you need to pick up one of these, and that will get you on the road in the correct direction.
Excellent. So just plan your hike. It's a, you know, I hiked a lot of places. This is a relatively easy and pretty safe hike, but you can get lost in a half square mile of land. So just make sure that you know. Just make sure that you know the land that you're hiking on. Make sure that you're responsible. Make sure that you tell somebody that you're going out. That's always important because there's not reliable cell service around here, as we found out during this live stream. But most importantly, just enjoy it and leave it for the next person as well. All right, guys? Well, thank you very much for watching. And I'll probably be in a canoe next week. I'll have to decide that. That'll be my last live stream before our semester starts and I get inundated with teaching. So thank you very much for joining in. And I will talk to you all later. Bye-bye.